Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. In the digital world, everything is e-mail, e-commerce, similarly e-go, but it doesn't go, it stays. So, all of us are all the time talking about others. She is very egoist. He has got a strong ego. I have to Baba no ego. See, without understanding what do we mean by ego. See, in God's creation, nothing is unwanted. Everything is wanted. See, if the doctors are wanted, the patients are created. So everything is required in God's creation. Now, what is this ego that we talk about? And is this ego essential? Is this ego real? Is this ego to be removed? What do we mean by ego, first of all? See? Ego is identification with anything which is finite. As a result of this, whatever happens is called as an ego. See? And this ego, if it is properly utilized, it is an asset. If it is not properly utilized, it is a liability. See? Like, the poison. Poison is an asset if it is used in proper dose. And it is a liability if it is used in a concentrated form. See? So, ego is necessary. Without ego, life is not possible. A dead body doesn't have ego. So, first principle, we all have ego. So therefore, we are all of the same kind. There is nothing like somebody superior, somebody is inferior, number one. Now, how is our ego expressing? See, first, we have money. Now, how that money is expressing? Is that money expressing for serving others? Or is that money expressing for drinking and going to the parties and spoiling? See? So money is not a problem. How it is utilized, that will determine whether money is an asset or a liability. In the same manner, our ego, when it is limited to only the finite body, that this body I am, so the ego has become extremely concentrated. See? And thereafter, whatever thinking will happen, all that thinking will happen with reference to that body alone. See, friends, take an example. See, you must have seen on airports when we have to go through the immigration, we have to fill in some dumb forms, isn't it? And all the forms with the questions are so stupid. Are you a member of terrorist organization? Yes, no. Who is going to write there yes? So, when we have to write, those answers are fill in our passport number, which we can never remember. Any number at that time you go, you can't remember it. It is also a funny number. So, the phone that we have in our hand, we don't want to leave it, lest we'll forget. So what we do, we keep the phone in the hand, plus in the same hand we keep the fountain pen or a ball pen and then start writing. So, our hold on this object will influence our writing ability, is it not? Our handwriting will not be the same. If we give up this object and write, it will be different handwriting. If you are holding on to this object and then write, handwriting will be different, is it not? Exactly the same way. When we hold on to one body, this body alone I am, then the thinking will be only with reference to this body alone. What will I get if I do that? See, what will I get? I means this small little. So every thinking will be in relation to the body. And then for my sake, I may do anything, but others are suffering because of you. Who cares? I want it. See, friends, so this concentrated ego becomes a liability for us. See, friends, and such people are lonely in the crowds. Everybody is happy. One person. What happened? क्या होना बचा है? You have got any disease? कौन सा disease नहीं है? Did anybody say anything bad to you? What is not said? Whenever a person is frustrated, he expresses as philosopher. See? Because the I is extremely strong. See, friends, such a concentrated ego is a liability. Such people, they have everything except joy. See, they have got all comforts and they are comfortably miserable. They have got all luxuries, they are luxuriously miserable. See, they have got every kind of food and yet they are hungry. Think, friends, they have got a mega royal bed but no sleep. Think. Therefore, the first sign of this ego, which is a liability for us, is to be established by oneself. Am I happy or not? If we are at peace with ourselves, we will be at peace with the whole world. And if we are not at peace with ourselves, why we are not at peace with ourselves? Nobody wants me in this house. I am just a furniture. Whenever we are miserable, we are ego, poisonous ego. Whenever we are miserable, we are strong ego. More miserable we are, stronger is our ego. Less miserable we are, lesser is our ego. God doesn't have ego, therefore He is Paramananda Maharaj ki Jai. See, friends, can you imagine the picture of the Lord crying? See, the devotees go before Bhagavan Sri Krishna. One person asked me this question, that Swamiji, why you like Bhagavan Krishna and not Bhagavan Ram? I said, just like that, there is no reason. No, there must be some reason. I said, because I like Bhagavan Krishna because I follow his footsteps. What is that? Bhagavan Rama is very serious. Always ready with a, family portrait. And therefore, maximum devotees go and trouble him. Ram, 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 Ram. Most miserable God, Rama. What about Bhagavan Krishna? You go on talking, he doesn't listen to you, he is playing his flute. See, friends, whenever you are happy, that time you have zero ego. And those are strong ego. Everybody laughs. But what is there to laugh? See? I remember one experience. This happened in Thane in a school. I was invited for an annual general gathering function as a chief guest. So, about 2,500 children and maybe about 2,000 parents, grandparents, uncle, aunties, huge crowd. And I was talking to them. And the whole pendal, everybody was giggling, laughing. And there was one lady sitting right in front of my nose, but not laughing. I took it as a challenge. And I was defeated. She didn't even once. So after my lecture was over, I went down to her. I said, Mama, you have defeated me. I accept my defeat. You did not laugh even once. She took her hanky in front of her mouth and she said, it is not that way, Swamiji. Then I just came from the dentist and it is a new denture. So I was holding it. And if I laugh and it comes out and falls on you, see friends, at this moment when you were happy, you were functioning at a zero ego level. See how simple it is. But we are serious for nothing. And what is the cause of our this strong ego? Number one, we want to prove something to somebody in this world. But we don't know what we want to prove and to whom. Who cares for us? But we think what people will say. See, there was one boy, 12th standard, in India it happened. I went to their house in a auto rickshaw. Got down and went. A small town. And there was some function, so I went there. And the old lady, mother, was telling her son, who was in 12th standard, kindly take these 2 buckets of plastic, go to the market and get 40 kilos of yogurt, and then we will prepare something. He started arguing with his mother. Mom, are you crazy? I will go with these 2 buckets in the hand on the road like this? Hey, I can't do that. So that poor mother, what is wrong in that? And he was thinking, what is not wrong in that? Me going in the market with 2 buckets in the hand, I can't. So when I saw the tamasha, I said, Mama, don't worry, the rickshaw is there, I'll go and get it. So I took the bucket, went and got it. Then that poor fellow, everybody was bombarding on him. Swami has come to our house, he has to do this kind of work, you are useless. I said, Mama, don't shout at him, you don't understand him, What he said is right. When he will go with the buckets in the hand, like when Bhagwan Krishna used to go to the forest taking the cows, all the gopis used to come out, stand and look at Krishna. There is to be a curfew. In the same manner, when your son will go in the market, everybody will stop functioning because everybody will look at him. Oh, Kanhaiya is going. Who looks at us? But we want to prove something to somebody. Stop that. Be yourself. See? And what do we want to prove? I am a goody one. See? Stop that. Relax. Be yourself. See? And second thing, we try to justify. Never justify anything in this world. Work in your own conscience. No, actually, I was coming, but it became late because there was traffic jam. Nobody asked. Even if you don't come, who cares? But we ourselves. This is what is called as expression of ego. See? So, to get rid of the impact of this ego, the first principle is recognize. And the first symptom of this ego syndrome is we are trying to prove ourselves someone extraordinary than others. Please remember, spiritual practice is not becoming someone special. Losing all specialities. We are miserable because we treat ourselves to be special. Let's get this point across. One day, this happened in US. There used to be one lady, she used to bring food for me. Then she got the food and took out the ice cubes, kept in a container, and she was eating the food. And her son was non-stop crying. Now I can't give him one also because his mother is to give me food. So I was thinking how to stop this fellow. Nonsense. Then I asked him, I said, hey, look here, I want to put these ice cubes in this small glass. All of them. How can I put them? They are not going. They are very hard. What should I do? He looked at me. You don't know even this much. So he was crying intelligently. I said, yes, I know. I should break the glass and put it inside. In that crying he laughed. Not this way. Then in what way? Don't do anything, just put it. It will automatically melt and go down. See, when we are like ice cubes, we have got spatial status. In a jar, you see how the ice cubes stay? Everybody has got his own image. Then what is to be done? Don't do anything. All spiritual practice is undoing. It is not doing. We have done sufficiently. The moment you understand this principle, the ice cubes will automatically melt. And ice cubes are never comfortable anywhere except in their small socket. We have our comfort zone in life. One lady came with me somewhere. Next day morning when we got up, Swami, you had good sleep? I said, that is the only thing I do. Very good sleep, I have no problem. I didn't sleep for the whole night. different house, different bed, different bathroom, different quilt, different pillow. How can you sleep? I cannot sleep except in my bed. I said, in that case, I will never be able to sleep because I don't have any bed. This is what is called as ego. We get conditioned by our comfort zone. See? And what is that comfort zone? We want recognition for us. You know. Please come, please come. See? This is how the ego becomes poisonous. See, friends. So let us not be the ice cubes. Let us melt down. And when the ice cubes melt, individuality disappears. And when the ice cubes melt, individuality disappears, then the water is comfortable in the petri dish, in a test tube, in a capillary tube. No problem. But ice cubes, nowhere comfortable. So what is the sign of getting freedom from the ego? Be at home, wherever you are. All that is required for our evolution, that is provided to us by the Lord. See? Get this point clearly in your understanding. All that is required, that alone is provided to us. It is something like we go to the hospital. Once I was admitted in a hospital. I had some problem about Madhya Pradesh. And therefore they were giving me only barley water and little liquid kind of food without any taste. And I like, mirch, masala, papad, everything I like. And they were giving me all the useless kind of food. And my neighbor in the same hospital, in the same room, he was given very nice food. Then I started thinking, ego. I started thinking, because I am a Swami, I am poor, they are giving me like this. See how nice food he is being. He was tired of eating good food. And I was tired of eating this rubbish food. So one day he decided, I am not going to eat today. I said, don't do that. Annam brahmeti vyajanat. Food is God. Don't throw it away. Come, I will eat it. And I ate that heavy food, which I was not supposed to eat. All the parameters, readings were completely upset. Emergency. Doctors were called, and then they put some tube inside and flushed it and made me vomit and whatnot. And after all that was done, then the nurses, the doctors, they were taken on file. Who has given him? Who is on duty? And when I saw unnecessarily those poor people will be scolded, I said, Dr. Saab, I have eaten on my own because I was fed up of this rubbish food. Then he said, you don't understand. You are having melina. You should not take this. It's a very serious affair. I was thinking, somebody is given good thing. I am unfortunate. As the doctor gives according to a requirement, in the same manner, God has given us everything that we require for our evolution. Everything. Joy, sorrows. Achievements, failures. Honor, dishonor. Everything we need. But we don't agree with him. It is something like, on a mountain, one day a sculptor went and he was seeing big boulders, and in one boulder he saw a marble boulder, and then he decided, now I had to work on it. He made his drawings and all that, and started chisel and hammer, chisel and hammer. Every time the chisel and hammer was hammering on him, the boulder started feeling, how unlucky I am. See, other boulders are comfortably watching. Nobody comes to help me. I am most miserable. But the chisel and hammer continued. And when all the unwanted stone chips were removed, a beautiful Bhagavan Krishna came out. Then it was taken in a big procession, installed in a temple, and millions of people will come and go. That time the stone started thinking, I don't know how to thank to that sculptor who brought out the best in me. And other stones still lying there. Nobody even bothers. Friends, please remember this. Instead of becoming miserable because of the miseries, make it as your spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is not morning half an hour I do meditation, thereafter 23 and half an hour I am frustration. It's not spiritual practice. See? We have to live in meditation 24/7. See? And when we start living in meditation, then our ego is slowly getting diluted. How? When miseries come, by default we become miserable. See? Like one lady scolded me. You may be thinking, everybody talks to me good, but you don't know my personal tragedies. They become very angry sometimes. What is there for you? All the time say, be happy, be happy, be happy. Get married and show, be happy. See? So, when we are recognizing this, and miseries come, but we refuse to be miserable. Be attentive. What was the definition of ego? Getting identified with the finite is ego. Miseries come. Misery is finite. Get identified. I am miserable. Ego is born. You get a particular toy that you want. I got it. Therefore I am happy. This happiness is also finite. Ego is born. Therefore, whenever we become miserable or happy because of any finite experience, understand ego is born. Then how do we get out of this? Hold on to Bhagavad Gita. Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha, sukheshu vigata spruhaha. Two techniques. When miseries come, refuse to be miserable. And when comforts are there, don't be addicted to any comfort. See, then alone we are working on the ego. It is not that we are becoming someone great. We are losing all the greatness. When the ice cube melts into the water, he loses his individuality, his identity. See, friends, therefore, whenever we are disturbed, miserable, ego is functional. Now, how this ego is further spreading its tentacles? First, getting identified with our one body, ego is born. And therefore, if you tell somebody, hey, you are extremely beautiful, ego is born. To other person you tell, hey, Laddu, how are you? Why do you call me Laddu? Because you are round. You have no business to condemn me. I am like this. Ego. The first ego is born by identification with the body. This is the primary ego. Now the secondary ego. After we are identified with our body, then the secondary egos are I am husband, I am wife, I am mother, I am father, I am a boyfriend, I am a girlfriend. These are the secondary. Be very attentive. And who is really miserable in life? These secondary egos are miserable. And what is the root cause of these secondary egos? Identification with the body. Then this ego becomes a big liability. Because it is so concentrated. You know, the venom, once I went to see a venom, anti-venom producing laboratory in India. That is in Bombay. Hopkins Institute. Somebody took me there. And they showed me how the cobra they catch. They have got experts. And then the cobra is given a rubber ball in his mouth to bite. So when he bites, how the venom is thrown into that ball. Then the cobra is let loose again to produce more venom. And then that venom which is collected, that they keep on diluting to a particular level of dilution. Then that diluted venom becomes a medicine for the venomous bites. See what is done? Venom, when it is concentrated, it is killer. But when it is diluted, it is a medicine. See? So we have to dilute our ego. How do we dilute our ego? As I told you, stronger the ego, more miserable we are. And if you just look within, we are all miserable only for silly things. We are not miserable for something great. Okay? In the morning I got, nobody gave me a cup of tea. For a cup of tea we are miserable. We are never miserable. I could not become the President of the United States. Nobody is miserable for that. We are miserable for these rubbish things. Therefore, our ego is strong. So, what is to be done? This is a very simple technique. If you want to get rid of your miseries, a very simple technique I am telling you, try. If you want to get rid of your miseries, help miserable people. Help them. I'll give an example. I know one family, very good family, and they have got everything except peace of mind. When you enter that house, you feel you have entered an inferno. Everybody is on fire. So, when this happens, so one day when I went to their house, the daughter-in-law told me, Swamiji, you know everything about our house. I am fed up in this house. So miserable. I don't know what should I do. I told her my simple technique. No discussion, no argument. Agreed? Yes. Wherever discussion, arguments are, ego is strong. No discussion, no argument. See, you take a little pond of water and put a simple dry leaf. There will be ripples, isn't it? Take the ocean. and let the whole ship sink, not a single ripple. Whenever we are living at the periphery of our personality, there is no depth. At periphery of our personality, we become like that shrub called as touch me not. Have you seen that shrub? You touch it? Somebody says one word and we are miserable. See, friends. So I told that girl, I said, look here, I'll tell you a technique, but on one condition, no discussion, no argument, agreed. I straight away took her with me, said, come with me. And there was one medical camp, which is held twice in a month, second and fourth Sunday. He said, come with me. And those people I know, so I handed over. I said, this is one, volunteer and tell her any work she will do. And I said, Mama, now for next 6 months, don't talk to me on this topic. Okay? Within 3 months, she said, Swami, you told me not to talk, but I cannot stop. I said, then talk. I have no problems in my life. Within 3 months. I said, what happened? He said, Swamiji, when I was working there as a volunteer, I saw people have got so many terrible problems. In comparison to them, I have zero problem. I am ashamed of myself to say that I am unfortunate. Friends, this is the only way to get out of your ego. Serve. When you serve, you will never get insulted. See? For example, I am a servant and she is my boss. So who is the boss? Boss likes to boss over everybody, particularly servant. So many people have come. Now she will boss over me. Hey Ramu, pani le aa sabke liye. I don't know, these servants are so useless these days. When this is said, abused in front of everybody, nobody will feel that the servant is insulted. And in reply, if I tell her, Ma'am Saab, how much water you drink? Are you a tanker? Immediately she is insulted. The day you become a boss, you are bound to be insulted and miserable. Remain as a servant. See, friends. And remaining servant doesn't mean something like, I am a social worker, I go and do work, but nobody send me a car. They are not social workers, they are social suckers. See? Therefore, when we take this, that we have to serve. When you serve, you will have to forget your miseries. When you serve, you have to be healthy. An unhealthy person cannot serve. See? You tell a person, Acha, get me one papad. Oh God, what happened? I lifted one papad and I got a catch. Now to such a person, will anybody tell any job hereafter? So we have to be healthy and we have to forget our own problems. Then only we can serve the society. See, friends, I am using the word service. Don't try to improve the world. Don't try to do good to the world. See, the other day somebody asked me this question. Swamiji, I want to do some good work for the society. Is it okay? I said, when you are decided, do it and let the society suffer. So why did you say like that? I said, what is the good work according to you? Tell me. If I am, example, if I am a victim of yoga, then what will be the good work? Everybody in this society should do yoga. See? And to what extent it goes, I will tell you. I will not tell you the name and place. Once I was invited somewhere, international forum, on a international yoga conference. And all the facilities were provided 5-star. All the way I flew from India, and I was supposed to deliver lectures and all that. And everything was over, and then we had a meeting. And in that meeting, that head who was called Jagat Guru, God knows how he is Jagat Guru. So he was called Jagat Guru. And he told, we have to make United Nations declare 21st June as the Yoga International Day. And then he was not Indian, he was from other country. And then he addresses, you Swami should do this job. So I was enjoying, I never become serious. I was enjoying. One of the Swami, he said, excuse me, you are telling about this Swami. This Swami has never done any yoga practice in his whole life. I can't believe. I said, that's your problem. No. When terrorists could be global, why not yoga? Then I said, may I contribute my thoughts? Yes. I said, yes, we should go with a gun in the hand. Shirshasana kar. If you don't do Shirshasana, I'll kill you. Okay. Yoga. And then I will feel that I am doing the social service. Friends, all the so-called social service people, they impose their views on the society. See, if I am a student of Gita, what I will think? Everybody should have Gita in his hand. Because according to me, that is good. If I am a teetotaler, what will be good for the society? Nobody should drink. Then where from the money will come? See, in India, in Tamil Nadu, they are so intelligent. Tamilians are very intelligent people. What they do, they give promise to the electorate that they will provide you rice at the rate of 2 rupees per kg. What is 2 rupees in your currency? 10 cents? Or 5 cents? So 4 cents per kg. See how cheap the rice is. So everybody is given rice at the rate of 2 rupees per kg. In a house, if there are 10 people, so how much rice they get? And such a huge quantity of rice they cannot eat. So whatever they need, they keep it. The rest of the rice they sell in the market, black market. So they got sufficient money. Then why should they work? Then with that money what to do? Go and drink. So what the government does in Tamil Nadu only, all the liquor vendors, they are government shops. There is no private person who can sell liquor. So all the money that they have saved and they drink, that money goes back again to the government. And from that money they give you 2 rupees a kilo. And this is how recycling. See, friends, get this point. For us, social service means imposition of our views on others. See? Then how do we serve? The first principle. Nobody needs our service. Most important thing to know. Nobody needs our service. It is our need then we have to serve. See, for example, I am very clear about this. None of you need my visit to Sydney. It is my need that I come here. When I have this attitude in my heart, I can never be arrogant. I will be submissive. I will not find out faults with you because I am a servant. A servant will never find out faults with the boss. He will accept whatever way the boss is. Because I am just a servant, man. See, friends. And servant is a person who is insult proof. Insult proof doesn't mean Beisharam. See, one child was given a watch by his father, and in a week's time he said, "Hey, where your watch has gone? I gave you a shock proof, a scratch proof, a waterproof watch, so expensive. Where it has gone?" "Dad, it was not a theft proof." In the same manner, this is the only way. If we do not get insulted by anything, we are functioning at a zero ego level. See? That time we don't try to prove anything to anybody. When do we experience this? We experience this when we are in deep sleep. In deep sleep, we snore. That time, do we feel bad? "Hey, excuse me, I snore little loudly." No, because there I am not. You know, in Melbourne, this happened, one of the retreats. First night we went and slept. Next morning, one couple who was next to my room, cabin, they came. "Swami, I am fed up." I said, "Right from the morning you are fed up, let me have a cup of tea at least." You know, whole night he snores so loudly. So I told him, I said, "Hey, put on silencer." And then you know what happens when I wake him up? He wakes up very coolly and tells, "I was not snoring." And I become more angry. He said, "Really? I was not snoring." And in a fraction of a second, again he continues. And you know those people who snore, they are never in a hurry. Have you seen anybody snoring hurriedly? Hurry, kar, 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 kar. They go their own rhythm. So when their argument was going on, I told, I said, "Mama, I agree with your husband. He was not snoring. I know you always are against the wives and the ladies. You always take side of the gents and the husband. I know that." I said, "Look here, don't cry. I'll prove it. The one who was snoring was not awake. And the one who is not awake, he is not your husband. So, what he is talking to you now as a husband, he was not the same who was snoring." "Swami, you are confusing me." I said, "See, these are the management techniques. Either convince or confuse. The second one is easier." We don't try to prove anything in deep sleep because there is no ego. Be attentive. And when we have slept nicely, deep sleep for 4, 5, 6 hours, and when we get up, how fresh and cheerful we are. Do you know why? Because we were not carrying the load of this ego. See, we are essentially divine. But our essential divinity is hidden because of identification with this small, wretched, useless body. See? Once I was in a 5-star hotel. The earlier, in India, this marriages, they got all cinema shootings, everything standardized. So the marriage was over, then the photographers and all that, and I am a Swami, so I had to stand between the husband and the wife and hug them, and then that is the only time they laugh. Afterwards, the world laughs at them. So, that tamasha was done. And then, as usual, my interest is only in eating. So, I took my plate and sat in one corner. One man came, unknown to me, who is he? When I looked at him, I said, "Hey, excuse me, please come." So, he came. I asked him, "What is your shoe number?" An unknown person, Swami, in a 5-star hotel, asked a question, "What is your shoe number?" So he started looking at me. What kind of funny question? See? Am I a cobbler, Ananda? He said, "Why did you ask me that question?" I said, "No, I felt that you have 9 as your shoe number, but you have put on 8 number shoe. Therefore I ask. I wish I am wrong." Probably you are correct. But you tell me, how did you know that? I said, "You tell me how it happened." Then he told, "Because I had to come for this marriage. Yesterday I went and bought one new shoe and selected, and they gave me a slip, go to the counter. I paid and went with that payment to the counter. They gave me this. I came and put it. When this evening I was coming, I put on the shoes and came. And in the car also I was feeling little uncomfortable. Maybe I thought, it's like this, will be all right. But when I was climbing the steps, it was becoming difficult. But my question is, how did you know?" I said, "Because you are not walking normal. You are walking like this, as a Tom walk. A cat walk? A Tom." He said, "My God, you are terrible. That is true. I was really suffering. I just feel I should remove the shoes. Now, learn the principle. When one number of shoe less you put on, you start behaving like a cartoon. When that infinite reality is conditioned by this wretched body, that funny expression of the divinity is called as ego. Discard. Choice is yours. It is possible. Only we must know the basics. When the fundamentals are clear of life, life is a fun. When fundamentals are not clear, life is mental. See, friends. So when we serve others, our eye dissolves. And a servant is the one who can never find out faults with his boss. With this attitude when we live, then the most important thing that happens unknowingly is we stop reacting in life. Normally, we don't act. We all have default settings. React. The mother was reading a book and the daughter came, small one. Mummy, I want to know, today we had a Hindu class and I want to know, is there life after? Beta, wait a minute, I'm reading something, Mummy will tell you later, okay? Again after 5 minutes, Mummy, I want to know, is there any life? Finally the mom got angry. Wait a minute, I'll tell you. Yes, there is life after death. No, Mummy, this is not my question. What is your question? My question is there any life after marriage? See, first answer was default answer. We all have these reactions as a natural way of expression. We are already determined. We don't have the patience. Therefore we react. Another example I'll give you. In one shop I was sitting there. The owner is a very good friend of mine. In the morning, he said, Swami, you sit in my cashier's place. That will be a blessing for me. I said, then open the cash box. So I was playing with the money and all that. Morning time, 9:30. And he was talking to me and all that. Then one person was coming from a distance. You know, with the standard Indian patriotic dress, khadi, and one shabnam bag, and like that he was coming. And he said, Swamiji, look at that man. He's straight away coming to us. I can smell these people. He will come and ask for donations. I am fed up of these people. I don't know what to do. I said, you go inside the house. I will give the whole donation. And by the time we were talking, he came. And after he came, he said, excuse me, is this the shop of Mr. Nanda Kishore Junjunwala? Yes. Then he said, this is the phone number from Mr. So-and-so in Calcutta. If you connect to him, I will talk to him and then we will do further thing. So he dialed. Those days there were no mobile numbers. It's an old story about 30 years before I am telling you. Now he dialed, Hanji, connection. Then he took the phone. Is this the same person to whom you have asked me to deliver the 50 lakhs draft? Yes, he is the same person. Then he said, you tell him that you have received the draft. Yes, I have received the draft, take it. And finished, okay, I am going. No, please come on, I have a cup of tea. He said, no, I am in a hurry. He went. Now it was my turn. Everybody comes to you only for asking donations. Friends, never mix issues in life. See, because 2-3 people came for that purpose doesn't mean everybody is like that. Because somebody has cheated us, that doesn't mean everybody is a cheat. Because somewhere we have suffered, that doesn't mean every time we are going to suffer. Once we learn this art, that let us stop reacting in life, you are out of the ego clutch. Live every moment fresh. Not the same mechanical lifestyle. See? And whenever life becomes mechanical, the charm of life goes away. See? Why the servants, government servants, I don't know in this country, it must be the same. Why they don't have any charm left in their life? Because the same thing, go to the office, Arey Ramu, chai le aaya. You have done nothing and you order for tea. See? And somehow you finish 3, 4, 5 hours and then come back home and again go. After some time, your abilities, they become blunt. Your capability become totally diluted. The charm of your life is lost and you are only waiting for when I will become retired, then I will do this thing. And thus, we start postponing the things. And we start living as dead bodies. And then, Swamiji, I am very frustrated, What should I do? You are already doing what I am doing. You are making me frustrated. See, friends. Therefore, coming back to point number 1. Ego is whenever we are miserable, ego is functional. And ego is identification with the finite. To disidentify, the only technique is serve. See, friends. And whenever we serve with respect and reverence, we are benefited. See, like we go to the temple, we stand before the Lord with all respect and reverence. It makes no difference to the Lord whether you respect or disrespect. Difference for us, when we look upon somebody with respect, we are cheerful and happy. But when we look upon somebody with disrespect, we are at a loss. See? Now the last point. If we have to serve with respect, we cannot respect a dog. See? We can respect that in which we have seen something higher than us. We respect our parents. We respect our guru. We respect our nation. We respect our culture. We respect our scriptures. Something higher. What is that? Which is a common denominator and higher than the highest. Start suspecting divinity in everything and being. Is it not what we do? When we go to the temple, we suspect divinity in the man-made idols. These God-made idols, can't we suspect divinity in them? See, friends, in the man's creation, we imagine God's presence. In God's creation, we even don't suspect. See, friends, thus, Ishavasymidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha magrudakkasya siddhanam. So to get rid of this ego virus, what is required is change the vision. Ishavasymidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Everything and being is an abode of the divine presence. Like every bulb is a house for the electrical energy. In the same manner, everything and being is housing the divinity. And when we take this attitude, tena tyaktena bhunjitha, then our attitude towards the world of indulgence and enjoyment will disappear. Then we will serve the world. And when we serve the world, bhunjitha atmanam palayetha, then only we can protect us from ourselves. If there is some terrible enemy, it is not outside, friends. We are our enemy, we are our friend. See? When we refuse to discover the divinity in the world, we are our enemy. Tena tyaktena bhunjitha magrudaha kasya siddhanam. Life is not meant for only indulgence like animals. There is much higher in life. See? And therefore, how do we achieve this? The next mantra tells, Kurvanne veha karmani jiji visheshadagam sama. In this technique, if you live, you will be functioning at a zero ego level. And what is the technique? The technique is always live 100%. Don't live in fractions. When you eat, enjoy every bite. When you listen, listen every single word. When you talk, let every word come with meaning. When you walk, let every step be a confidence. Then alone the ego will disappear and the divinity will start manifesting through us. This is possible. This is the way. Nanya pantha vidyate janaya. There is no other way. We all can do it. We all must do it. And we will do it. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.